into hour 2. Y'all ready to hit some PFF grades?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, again, we've heard fans talk about how bad this team is, right? They've been, they're horrible. They're horrible. PFF currently has us graded as the 4th best team in the league. That's just PFF grade-wise, team-wide, okay? We are sitting at an 84.5 currently. The only teams that are grading higher than us are the Lions at 89.7, Seahawks at 90.1, and the Rams at 91.7. The Indianapolis Colts are sitting at 5-1, and we have a higher team grade overall than them. Same thing with the Buffalo Bills, higher than them. Philadelphia Eagles, higher than them. Commanders, Chiefs, Texans, Broncos, you name it. So, again, this team is so bad, PFF's really off their rocker. When you look at the offensive grade, we got a 74.6, passing game grade, 83.0. Jordan Love is dealing right now. Pass blocking has struggled according to PFF, although did you guys feel like Jordan was under duress yesterday? Because I sure didn't. I felt like he had time to throw. And I love that he didn't stay in the pocket too long. Read 1, read 2, maybe a check. Nope, I'm getting out and making a play with my legs, and that's really exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we did see a lot more or improved pass protection for sure in this game compared to the last few matchups that he was under more pressure for sure.
Under duress versus a little bit of mobility in the pocket, I think, is the difference. I think he was just using his legs well yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. So moving along, receiving grade, the Packers have a 78.7, the running grade 73.3, run blocking 54.1, defensive grade 80.6. We're all talking about how bad this defense is. PFF says they're the 3rd best defense in the league right now, according to the grades. Run defense 70.4, tackle grade 66.1. I love that tackle grade, by the way. I remember when it was in the 50s, and we were like, what the hell are we doing out there, right? Pass rush grade 83.0. Stop looking at the box score, folks. The pass rush is doing its job. These guys are grading high. They're watching the tape and going, okay, let's try to best guess what their assignment is. And they're grading out as an 83 as a team right now. Coverage grade 77.7. I heard people calling in today, and it was just constantly, all day long, we need a number 1 corner. We need a number 1 corner. We don't have a number 1 corner. 77.7, pretty solid. Where's that put us across the league? Oh, looky there. We get the 2nd highest coverage grade, Emilio. And you're doing it with a 7th-round pick, an undrafted free agent that you signed in Keyshawn Nixon a couple years ago. Nate Hobbs is a free agent signing, right? So you got to give credit there. We did sign him.
We signed X. X was a 1st-round pick, but from another team.
Yep. Evan Williams, what was he, a
4th
round pick? And then Javon Bullard, a 2nd-round pick, right? So just nice balance across the board. And, of course, the special teams grades of 52.2. We've talked about that ad nauseum. That obviously the special teams is the weakest link of this team. There's no two ways about it, right?
Where does that put us at a 52 too, Clay? Can you sort that?
That's a good question. Let's see.
Yeah, did we move up?
To the bottom. Yeah, next to last. So Rams are the only one worse. Now, here's what's crazy. We talk about these teams that have a West Coast offense build to them, right? And they typically go toward, let's get us another offensive weapon as opposed to bottom of the roster special teams guys. Check this out. Rams, West Coast. Packers, West Coast. Raiders, who's the Raiders coach now? It's Pete Carroll. Who's their offensive coordinator? Do we know who the Raiders – help me out in the chat if you guys know. Yeah. Who is the Raiders offensive coordinator?
But you don't hear people complaining about Sean McVay's special teams. You know what I mean?
Right. And they were missing kicks yesterday and some field goals yesterday. So Miami Dolphins, same exact scheme, right, from the Shanahan scheme as well. And then the Carolina Panthers, I can't remember. Is it Kafka? Who's the head coach out there? Is that who it is? Am I thinking right? I don't know why, but Mike Kafka popped into my mind. And J. Cole said it was Chip Kelly out there with the Raiders. So nonetheless, definitely three of the bottom 4 special teams are all that West Coast build.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not like Chip Kelly's not spread. So, I mean, you're probably still looking for speed and an extra wide receiver.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Let's jump into the grades from the game.
That special teams grade while you're pulling it up. Carl Brooks and Zach Tom were on the edges during field goals.
Explain to everybody.
But you don't hear anything about that.
And we had a new kicker come in and make everything that he kicked.
Yeah,
no issues.
Right, yeah. But he go 5 for 5 on or 3 for 3 on extra points, 2 field goals or whatever it was. Yep. But yeah, you have Carl Brooks, who they brought in after the Musgrave debacle, whatever happened, however you want to call it. But you're asking now, basically your starting O-line is out there. Elton was out there. Morgan was still out there. But your two tight ends at their positions now were Carl Brooks and Zach Tom. Your highest paid O-lineman and your nose tackle that you have a lot of faith in, right? And for him to be put on the offense, I'm waiting for Carl to go in at fullback. Let's get a heavy package out there, goal line. That's what I'd like to see. But you have, all right, because when Rich was asked that question, he goes, it's not you have a list that you can't touch. It's more of how many snaps are these guys playing? How beat up are they? How worn down are they? Where are we at in the game? That's his list that he's working with. I bet it's revolving, drive to drive more or less than game to game. But everybody's still on him for a decision here and there.
Yeah, we need to accept the fact that it's all hands on deck approach when it comes to teams. You know, I mean, when you have the talent pool that we have that's been put together these past few seasons, you may not have a choice, because if it's going to cost you ball games, you've got to address it, right? And I think it's like polar opposite results of what we've seen before. Obviously, a change needed to happen, and it was made, and it paid off on the field. Like I said, with a guy who's half the guys in the locker room didn't even know the guy's name, and he's able to go out and successfully get some kicks off that aren't being blocked or attempted blocked. So I think it's a step in the right direction. And if you notice, when you look at those special team grades, you see us and the Rams hanging around the bottom of the league, and you flip to the PFF grades and you flip to the standings, those teams are in the top of the output in the standings as a team. Mm-hmm. So as long as your special teams isn't costing you ball games, I think you can get by with below average kind of play.
And even if they do cost you early in the season, Tim, as long as we can plateau and even it out once we get to week 12, 13, 14, 15, it's all about the end of the season and playing and getting hot at the right time.
That's right. Yeah, I think if your special teams just isn't a dumpster fire, you're okay. Yeah, for sure.
And we had our third highest graded special teams game yesterday at 60.4. So obviously that's higher than our average on the year. So not bad there. In terms of the grades against the Bengals, overall 81.9, offense 79, passing grade 73, pass blocking 78. That was our best pass blocking game of the year so far. Receiving grade 76, running grade 69, run block grade 65, defense 73, run defense 79, tackle 78, pass rush 65, coverage 69, and of course special teams is the 60.4 range. So let's move along now to the offensive side of the ball.
Hey, real quickly, if I could, real quick before we go on, that's the third consecutive week, if you look at that chart, of improvement when it comes to the grades. Across the board, it looks like almost every category. So that's what you want to see for sure.
Absolutely. You're starting to ramp up, getting into the meat and taters of the season, right?
Absolutely.
All right, on offense, guys, leading the way, Matthew Golden at a 90.4 PFF grade. Let's just stop here and talk about that for a second. All right, Matthew Golden, 90.4. Look at the grades on PFF, 61, 52, 62, 63, 90. His PFF grade on the year is sitting at 69.8 currently. We talk about anything 60 or above is a good, solid grade for a rookie. He's amping up, boys, I'm telling you. And listen, he'll have games where he has a setback, but what you're wanting is more positive games than negative. And by the time the playoffs get here, you want this dude looking like a true number one wide receiver. I think he's going to be there, but a 90.4. You know what's more impressive than that 90.4, Emilio, for me?
His run blocking.
Tell him about it. 60.9.
He can block.
He can. No, I'm not mad at him, man. He's a dog, and he's willing to do it. So the fact that he can do it all is why you take him in the first round.
And what's most impressive to me, you don't see it in this grade specifically, but when the game was on the line, Jordan hits him for that long gainer down the side or on the sideline there. That's the type of stuff that you talk about, building chemistry. If you guys go back and check out that video I did earlier today on Matthew Golden, I played a little soundbite from him. And, man, he is just mature above his years. I love what he said about Jordan. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up real quick on our Patreon group.
And it's nice, Clay, because it's not always going to have to be Romeo, right? It's not always I got to look to Rome on third down on that out route because I know his hands are going to catch it. Hey, I can start leaning on somebody else. You get Christian out there, then you start leaning on somebody else, and then the defense gets spread too thin. Then everybody starts, tearing it up. And remember, Christian was out. Jaden Reed was out. Like, we haven't had those guys in the loss, in the tie, but we don't talk about that. Matt's just still doing whatever he's doing with the offense, and you get Fitzpatrick out there for 113 set with, his jet sweep to Savion. That's awesome. You just got to figure out how to make it do with what you have out there.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Here's what Golden had to say in the locker room. I think this was immediately following the game. Listen to what he says. First of all, watch his demeanor. He's not like all giddy, like, yeah, we arrived. You could just tell he's all business. And listen, again, what do good leaders do? And he's 21 years old. If he's thinking like this right now, imagine him at 26, 27 years old, right? And he's got some seasons under his belt. Great leaders, what do? They absorb criticism and redistribute praise, right? Yep, exactly. Listen to what he says here.
Go out there and play fast, be on the same page with Jordan, and, just let the game come to me. I feel like, whenever I got confidence and, I'm playing fast, the sky's the limit.
You feel like you're on the same wavelength as Jordan at this point?
Yeah, I feel like we're right where we need to be. I'm excited to play for a guy like that, man. Just knowing he can put the ball anywhere. For me, all I got to do is catch it. So he definitely make my job a lot easier.
After that deep crosser there, I think the 31-yarder, how critical was that? What did you see there, coming up with that play at that moment?
Well, we actually worked at the last practice we had, just scramble drill. Having that mindset, things do go off schedule. You got to be ready. You got to make a move fast. And Jordan had a big emphasis on that, and we worked it in practice. So, for it to come live in the game, I feel like it all came out of, just us putting that work in, and it came a lot of it.
That's the type of stuff, too, that you've seen Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers doing, right? When they go into that scramble drill, Tim, he always looked for Jordy. I think you're going to see more and more.
The old fish route, too, right? You remember the old fish route?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's so true. It'll be fun to break this one down on Chalk Talk too, because clearly, Matthew Golden saw something there when he got to the top of his route. Probably saw Jordan extending the play to the left. Hey, get to your quarterback, right? There's different ways to come back to the ball. I think that was Golden coming back for the ball, and like you said, kind of deflecting that praise and giving it to Jordan because it does it's makes his job a lot easier when you got J Money, the dime thrower, putting gems out there for you to catch, for sure.
Yeah. I love this right here, too. Catch rate over expected. He leads the Packers right now if you remove Malik Heath because he's only been targeted twice, but Malik Heath is at a plus 57.7% catch rate over expected. But Matthew Golden on 19 targets, plus 11%. Guys, that's not best in the league when you remove all the noise, remove all the the minimal targets. He is literally ninth in the league. Listen to some of these players that he's ahead of. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, right? Deebo Samuel Jr., Jalen Waddle, Emeka Egbuka, Romeo down there in the 23rd spot. Jamar Chase is 24th, right? Wow. And you've got Matthew Golden at 9th. So the only receivers ahead of him are Cooper Kupp, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua, Devonta Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Ricky Pearsall, and Kayshon Boutte. So just wanted to point that out. It's not just PFF that's showing up, right? It's also some of these other advanced metrics, analytics, whatever you want to call them, all right? So back to the PFF grade again, Matthew Golden balling out. I'm most excited about the amount of snaps, guys. 201 snaps. That's the other thing. He's staying healthy. And again, availability and accountability, two of the most important things you can have as a football player. Moving along, Josh Jacobs had an 83.6, balled out. What do you have, over 150 all-purpose yards, I believe? Yep. So love to see how involved he is in the passing game. He got a 90.2 in the passing game.
You guys hear the mic up feed from him laughing after being tackled during the game? Go check it out. It's on Packers app and their official social media and stuff.
They said he was sick too, Tim, right?
Yeah, and he didn't tell anyone, wasn't feeling well, no big deal, had a job to do, right? But it was just fun to see him, taking these hits, and he's just laughing. Like it's like the funniest thing in the world to him every time he gets tackled. And he talked about that 15 or 14-yard touchdown he had right up the middle. So go check that out on the official Packers site, man. It's something to see.
What was he saying, Tim? Was probably the best block play of his career.
He said, I could have fell down and still got in or something like that.
Could have fell down, got back up, started running again, got in. Yeah, it's just
could have pulled the old Trevor Lawrence and still got in there, right?
Right. He got sick before game, during game, and after the game, and just kept his head down, kept working.
And look at the output, that we got, in it where he's not even 100%. That's amazing, man. It's a testament to the type of player he is.
Yep.
Yeah. J. Cole says Josh Jacobs flu game. Love to see it. Want to give a shout out to Dark Art in the chat. Says, okay, you officially got me Patreon membership confirmed. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, dude. Yeah. If you're a member of that $3 tier, we'll get you entered into the giveaways there, man. That $3 gets you access to everything. Appreciate the support, buddy. You're the man. Let's see here. 2-0 for this says, when we have Watson, Golden, Reed, Dobbs, Wicks, Tucker, and Jacobs for the stretch of the playoffs, this offense will be crazy. God, this sounds so good. Man.
Speak it into existence.
Matt won't get any credit, though. Don't worry.
Oh, no, of course not. Fishy Thing says, I don't think anyone knows what Golden's ceiling is. And the reason being is the way he snatched that ball on that play in the fourth quarter, there was no – listen, let's be honest for a minute. Romeo Dobbs, first year or two in the league, a little shaky, right? Christian Watson had drop issues, right? He didn't ever look comfortable catching the ball. Yep. Matthew Golden looks different catching the ball. Dontavion Wicks last year had the drop issue. Man, Matthew Golden is just smooth. He just – this is what I do, man.
I've got a theory on this. I don't think we know where the ceiling is because there isn't one. Yeah. We could be looking back, years down the road when Matthew Golden's finishing his career. We could be having, Hall of Fame type conversations at some point. You never know. You never know when you have that next, GOAT receiver contender, upper echelon guy. And I think what we've seen now, you're right, Clayton. He doesn't seem to have those rookie struggles that you typically see with a wideout in the NFL, first round pick or not. There's usually that period of adjustment, and he's hitting his stride right now, man. The sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, go ahead, Emilio. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, he's pulling up there listening to 2 Chainz. I'm different. Pull up to the scene with the ceiling missing. That's Matthew Golden.
Love it.
No middle fingers up to the competition.
Yeah, no. Don't need that yet.
I'm over here listening to Hank Williams Jr. I have no idea.
Well, the guy that joined Drive, that's Alan Jackson. You know that song. I know you listen to that when you're mowing.
Drive. Daddy let me drive.
Come on now.
Respect Orange says, I can't imagine Watson and Golden out there. That's the other thing. While Jayden Reed continues to heal up from surgery, you're probably going to see Golden slide into the F and get Christian out there at the Z. Man, it's exciting, dude. You got Dontavion in the rotation just coming in, right, off the bench. You got Rome in the X, you'll have Golden in the F or the slot, right? And then you'll have Watson at the Z. You'll probably move Watson around a little bit there too, I would imagine, because they like to put Watson in the F and then put him in at that wing position, right? There off tackle. And then all of a sudden you got speed there that you can motion in any direction. He can also block, as Emilio's pointed out from time to time. And then you got Matthew Golden being able to stretch the defense with his speed. But again, Matthew Golden, to me, I know he's got that world-class speed, but I think he's more valuable working underneath. The way he juked those defenders, man, that screen grab was there were 5 defenders in the frame, and nobody had a snowball's chance in hell of making that tackle.
Matthew Golden's got shifty on Platinum for sure. I mean, that dude is unbelievable. And what I'd love when they bring him in that wing position, they even do that with Golden once or twice. But when he slips out on a route through there, it just throws the whole defense off. What's a linebacker going to do? He's going to have to, take him on for a minute, figure out if he's going to pass him off or not, and then go.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, moving along here. Coach Lynn says, can we give Morgan his flowers also? Amen. Let's go ahead and hit the rest of these grades real quick, and he is one of them we're going to mention here. So Zach Tom back in the fold, 61 snaps. 75.5. Let's freaking go. Jordan Love, a 73.0. We'll come back to that in a minute. Romeo Dobbs, 72.1. Sean Ryan, 70.6. Only 12 snaps, though. Jordan Morgan, 49 snaps at right guard, 69.4. You love to see it. Rasheed Walker, 68.6. Elton Jenkins, 67 with an 85.4 pass blocking
grade.
There
we go, Big E.
Yeah, need to see that for sure. And Dontavion Wicks there in the 64.8 mark.
Yep. That was our third injury concern. I don't know if we have anything on him. It was Wicks with the ankle. I believe, exited yesterday.
That's
So if
what it
anybody hears anything about Tay Wicks, I know he had the calf. I think he had a calf issue during camp. So I'm hoping it's not the same leg or anything like that. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah. So Jordan Love so far this season, guys, 76, 86, 59, 78, 73. His grade on the season is now an 83. He is just 0.6 points away from hitting his all-time high season grade in terms of offensive grade according to PFF. So Jordan Love is playing like back half 2023 Jordan Love, which is really, really great to see. So again, his PFF grades throughout his career, 36, 78, 83, 75, 83. That 75 last year, battling 3 injuries all year long. So again, you're seeing what Jordan can do when he can actually run the football. Now, I want to say he's already eclipsed his total rushing yards that he had all year last year. He's already hit that this year. I want to say that somebody mentioned that. It might have been Wildy and Tausch that mentioned that earlier today. What do y'all think about Jordan so far, man, this young season here?
Tearing it up. Why does he wear 10, Tim?
Because he only throws dimes.
That's all I got to say about that.
And really the footwork too, like Clayton's mentioning, the willingness to run the ball when necessary, the willingness to step up in the pocket, out over in the pocket, whatever you have to do to extend the play, getting a defender to commit, knowing where the line of scrimmage is, knowing you can still release that ball. That's a recipe for success and something that we always knew was a part of Jordan's game. But now I think you're really seeing him kind of reach into that bag of tricks and pull that out. And, it really helps us, particularly when the run game struggles. If we've had some games where we struggle in the run, and Jordan being able to do it with his feet now and again can keep your drives alive and win you ball games for sure.
Yeah. All right, boys, let's jump into defense. I don't know how you can't be excited about this. Warren Brinson finally gets his shot, right? Gets his crack. Warren Brinson, rookie, finally activated. 21 snaps, 84.4 PFF grade with an 80.6 pass rush grade.
Built there.
It looked like Hafley said belt ass, did it not? I'm gonna count it. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and y'all both push them again at the same time. All right, get ready. You ready?
Ready.
I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, push it. Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, push it.
Built there.
All right.
Must see TV right here happening. Make sure you click that like and subscribe. Thank you.
Yeah, or just don't tell anybody about the show so we don't have a bad reputation here.
You do that, you're going to get your ass kicked in that.
84.8 for Warren Brinson. I don't know, man. Listen, we may look up at the end of the year and that was just a fluke, but damn, boys, that's a hell of a coming out party for a PFF grade. Am I right?
Absolutely.
All right. Micah Parsons, continue to be Micah Parsons, 78.4. Evan Williams, guys, 76.4. What's his grade up to on the year now? 76.9. So he's had a 90, 68, 45, 69, 76. Evan Williams is a real deal, boys. He's a real deal. The game
make me look good for a change. That was my pick in the pregame, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about our guys. That I had a feeling Williams was going to have a game in him, and he does, and I love it, man. He's another guy. He's just going to continue to get better. I fully believe that.
And did you see how excited he was for Haversack? Just that he got the game ball and just excited. Just he's the team player. He loves that energy. I think he just loves the game and everything about at each stage of the game.
Yeah, I don't see anybody that's the type of teammate you want, right? Guys like Evan Williams for sure. I mean, the new guy, nobody knows who he is, and I'm sure Evan made him feel right at home. You love to see it.
And Micah Parsons with a 78.4. So his grades starting in week 1, 66, 91, 82, 94, 78. His grade is a 94.2 now on the season. So,
and to all the people that are going to go, oh, well, look, he only graded at a 78 this week. Are you kidding me, man? There are edge rushers across the league that would love to grade out and have a game like that.
Check his snap count too, Tim. What did he miss?
Exactly.
He missed 7 plays. 7 plays.
There you go.
And we were worried about his back, worried about him, ramping up and all that. Yeah, we were worried about the ramp up, but I didn't expect him to be taking close to 90, 80 to 90% of the snaps. I thought he was going to be sitting at 60 just like everybody else and just rotate. But you have faith in the dude. He's walking all over. They're moving him on the edge. They're standing him up. He's directing Carl Brooks around. What do you want him to do to set up the pass rush? All those things are coming together.
Absolutely.
My pick going into that game was Edgerrin Cooper. Seemed to have a pretty good game according to PFF, 73.6. So, Tim, we were all over this, man.
Yeah.
In terms of, from a PFF standpoint, take it for what it's worth. But his grades on the year now, 77, 57, 65, 77, 73. So he's grading out as 75.8. Well, you'll take that as a sophomore slump, right? When you're grading out 75, according to PFF.
Absolutely.
Love to see it. So moving along, we've also got Kobe Wooden, 32 snaps, 73.2, run defense grade, 76, tackle grade is 70. So he was one of those run stoppers yesterday. You got to start singing his praises, man. He's one of these guys that's stepping up with Devontae Wyatt out, helping stop the run.
Absolutely. Give him his flowers. We're not that far removed from having, he's a bubble guy maybe, or where is his role on this team?
I was the one saying that, he might get cut, right?
Yeah, and look at him now. I mean, this is amazing. And he's fun to watch, man. He really is. And, it'll be interesting to see, how they transition once we get, Heavy D back out there, which we want for sure. But, yeah, man, Kobe Wooden is just really proven to be an asset and can help you, much like we talked about Matt Golden playing so well as a rookie. It allows you to, when you have guys like Scoot out and Jaden Reed missing time, your offense doesn't miss a beat. And we see this on the defensive side of the ball where that defensive front continues to play well, both against the pass and the run. Even despite being down, arguably their best, one of their best starters in that position. So big shout out to Kobe Wooden for real.
Yeah. Sorry for not. I mean, not
should have never doubted you.
yeah. Sorry for not believing in you, man. Because you're that fourth rounder, and I get it. I got him and Carl Brooks mixed up round selection. You'd think that the sixth rounder might go, but man, he really turned it up. He's bulked up. He's played well. He's doing everything they ask him to do. Yeah, it's 16, maybe 20, 30 snaps a game, but he's productive in those snaps. I mean, he had a good game when everybody else had a bad game in Cleveland. It's the dude's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, definitely. All right, moving along. Javon Bullard, 71.8. 71.8 for Bullard. Run defense grade, 81.6. Tackle grade at 83.9. Coverage grade, 68.5. Milio, that's a pleasant surprise there. So he struggled early here, 44, 61, 47, 58, and it comes out with a 71 in this game. So hopefully he can continue to build off that. His PFF grade on the year is now 53.5, so he did improve.
What I did like there, Clay, was he wasn't at safety the entire time. He's been at slot. Let's let him build on that. If you can give him a whole season at one position, I'd be so much happier. We just asked him to do so much last year.
Yeah, definitely. All right, moving along, we've got Isaiah McDuffie, 71.1, only 6 snaps though. But is it just me? Does it seem like McDuffie's having a good year? I mean, there's only 76 snaps altogether, so he's kind of coming in a rotation where someone gets banged up. But his grades on the year, 55, 77, 72, 79, 71. So his PFF grade is 78.2. Boy, not a bad third linebacker there when you're predominantly playing nickel 4-2-5. But when you go to your 4-3 sets, love to see McDuffie coming in playing like that for sure. So
and the special teams captain, no?
Yeah, right.
So every time I'm out there on extra point block, you see the man.
Yeah. Yep. And there's 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Chicago Bears are leading the Washington Commanders 6-0. Currently, it's Commanders' ball. Looks like they just got penalized. So we'll keep an eye on that score for you. Also, the Falcons are still beating the Bills 21-7. Got somebody on the ground there, number 8 for the Bills. I'm not sure who that is, but everybody's gathered around. I don't know if he's cramping or what, but nonetheless. All right, Lucas Van Ness, 69.9 on 22 snaps. Tackle grade of 72. Pass rush grade of 67.5. He had the game's only sack, if I remember correctly. So his grades on the year, 68, 52, 89, 65, 69. So his grade on the year, 74.3. Lucas Van Ness showing up this year, boys. Starting to break out a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully that foot is okay for sure. Because he's on a hot one, man. This is what we've been waiting for, and I hope he doesn't miss any significant time. I really do.
That's what I was going to say, Tim, is he's been producing well, and, all that talk about LVN has really hushed down. It's like they found something else to yell about now. But what were we talking about all offseason? Yeah, it's got to be LVN this year. Dude's garbage. He's got to get rid of him. Like, I don't even want him. Why is he here on his third year for the contract of 4? It's like, dude, let the guy play. Let him get some games under himself. And then with Micah and the addition, the mental aspect of it, how are you going to approach games? How do you prepare? How are you going to, turn that drive on for 17 games plus? It's coming together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carrington Valentine, only 19 snaps, but a 69.7 with a 69.8 coverage grade. I laughed my ass off when he broke that pass up on Jamar Chase. Turned around to taunt and realized I'm about to get flagged and just gritted.
Yeah.
He gritted out of there so fast. I was rolling. I was like, first of all, as soon as he turned around to get in Chase, I think it was Chase, right? He tried to get, when he turned around to get in whoever it was face, I was like, I literally screamed, "Shut up!" And he ran off real quick. I was like, "Good job, get the hell away from there."
I told you CV was going to be the guy that picked up where Ja left off, right?
Oh yeah, he is too, man. He's bringing that energy. Now Keyshawn Nixon, mark my words, it's coming. He's going to get flagged for that taunting. It's going to happen because my man, he plays so emotional. He is always in everybody's face. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm not going to be surprised if it does. But on the year, Carrington Valentine, 72, 79, 61, 45, 69. He is grading out with a 72.9. You love to see that from a 7th-round pick for sure. So let's see here. 2-0 for this in the chat. Said a Bengals fan behind me, he was at Lambeau yesterday, said, why are you grittying? You only broke up a pass. Not a big deal.
Do you watch football, guy sitting behind 2-0 for this at the game? That's a young DB getting a shot at one of the elite receivers in the league. And when you get a PBU like that in a crucial situation, we can talk about what happened on the next play, and I'm sure we will during Chalk Talk. Oh, yeah. But let that man have his moment, man. Leave CV alone,
And United Bates says CV's gritty grade was a solid 90. I give it a 90.1 actually.
Absolutely.
Rashan Gary in this game, 68.8. So on the year, 63, 60, 72, 71, 68. So his PFF grade on the season is now a solid 70.8. Tackle grade 79. Pass rush only 61. His run defense grade a 76.1. So picking up right where he left off last year, where he led all edge defenders in run stops last season. So again, you'd like to see Gary play better, but he's stopping the run first and foremost, and he still leads the team in sacks too at 4.5, I believe. So now I love to see them start to amp those sack numbers up. But as long as you're winning games, you got to play the game in front of you, man. As Herm Edwards once said, "Hello, you play to win the game."
Mm-hmm.
And I might not have been exactly what Herm was saying, but every game is different. You can't get caught up in, I need to get my sack, I need to get my PBU, I need to get my interception. It's what does the team need right now to get us out of this situation? What's the defense actually asking me to do? I think Gary's done an excellent job. I don't know how long he's going to be a Packer without a pay cut, right? Next year, going to be a real conversation of, okay, do they try to go cash over cap, reduce the cap number, give him a little bit of guaranteed money, but he makes, overall less money to stay in Green Bay? That could happen. Who knows, though, man? He may amp it up in the second half of the season, and they go, you know what? We're good with your cap number. That could happen, too. But you're getting into that ballpark now where you got to make a decision on LVN. Is he going to be with you for the future? Obviously, Parsons going to be here for 3 to 5 years, and you got to decide who's going to be that edge rusher opposite of Parsons. It all comes down to modeling the roster. We talked about this. There's there's this precedent already set by the Packers organization for decades that you're willing to pay 2 edge defenders because it's that important. And can we just say this for a second too? There's 2 positions on the defense that I consider tier 1 of importance, right? Edge and 3-tech. Guys, we're playing without our 3-tech right now. We have the number 1 run defense in the league, and we just went into our first game without Devontae Wyatt, right? Really, we're our second game because he got hurt fairly early
in that last one, yeah.
So you're seeing Hafley kind of – that's an important position, man. The fact that they're making this work without their top 3 tech is really impressive to me.
Cheetah package, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Love the cheetah package. Love it. Xavier McKinney, 66.8, had a tackle grade of 83.1 and a run defense grade of 68.2. So on the season, he's having a down year, 54, 54, 70, 61, 66, PFF grade 62.4. Look at the coverage grade, 57, 54, 64, 62, 63. But if you go to NFL Pro, his passer rating when target is like a 30-something. He leads the team.
Yeah.
How can you say he's covering that bad and nobody's making plays on him? You know what I'm saying? This doesn't make sense to me.
Also, don't think he's come off the field. I think those are max snaps for every game.
Yep, I think you're right, man. Already played 336 snaps, and he is the leader of this defense. So, again, you see those coverage grades. You watch the tape. You don't see McKinney getting beat in coverage. You look at the passer rating when targeted. The numbers suggest he's playing great coverage. There's one of these things that don't belong. It's probably the PFF coverage grade. So I would not put a whole lot of stock into that. So that makes sense?
Absolutely.
All right, moving along. Baron Sorrell, 63.4. Again, guys, rookie, grading out in the 60s. That's what you're looking for. And, week 1, 71, then a 48, 45, 63, currently at a 57.3. Let's get that up into the 60s, right? Continue to get him reps. And his reps have gone up, right? 8, 6, 8, and then this week, he had 13 against Cincinnati. So continuing to amp those up. You had Nate Hobbs, tackle grade of 77.8, overall defensive grade of 58. His coverage grade continuing to struggle at a 57.4. So Nate's still trying to get his feet under him, although he did have 65 snaps there as well. Quay Walker, 58.0, run defense grade solid at a 74. He struggled in coverage with a 53.7. And the one, I think he just rushed the passer 1 or 2 times there. He had a 49. That brings the grade down a little bit too. So Quay Walker, contract negotiations, right? You got a contract offer on the table. We don't know how much it is. I imagine it's a very team-friendly offer. That's why he's holding out and saying I might just test free agency. But his PFF grades week by week, 57, 64, 81, 45, 58. Overall grade of a 62.2 right now. And I believe that is his best grade to date. So it's not a whole lot of improvement, but he has improved according to PFF. 52, 58, 57, and then a 62 this year so far. So his best year of his young career. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You got some of these guys. Keyshawn Nixon, 55. Obviously, he was tasked with covering Jamar Chase most of the night. Listen,
Right.
We talked about that. It was a Tuesday player, right? If you're going to have him out there singled up on him, whether you're in zone or man at times, he's going to get his. It's just the way that goes, man. You just you can't stop him. You just hope you can contain him. And I feel like they did contain him for the most part to get that win. You didn't see him winning over the top. That's a positive there. Carl Brooks, 50, Nazir Stackhouse, 48, and Kingsley Enagbare with a 47. Keep in mind, these two players right here, Kingsley Enagbare had 16 snaps. Baron Sorrell had 13. I'm going to ask you guys this as we get ready to wrap up. LVN, if he misses a game or two, who do you want taking those snaps? All right, when you go to the cheetah package, and what would be the cheetah package, right? Or let's just say your basic nickel 4-2-5, and you got to take Micah out for a breather, or you got to take Gary out for a breather. Who are you going with, the rookie Baron Sorrell or the veteran in Kingsley Enagbare? Because Kingsley on the season, 53, 72, 90, 56, 47 for a grade of 66. We just talked about Baron Sorrell, so he's grading out a little bit better. Which route would you guys go, the young whippersnapper or go to the veteran?
Go ahead, Emilio. You take this one first.
That's tough. I love the way Kingsley played. And has been playing, but I think I would go with the young whippersnapper. Even just looking at kind of the snap counts from Kingsley, he started at 20 and change, went down to like 20, down to 18, 17. So it kind of seems like he's getting, weaned off a little bit. But again, if LVN goes down, or you have if Micah doesn't play 58 snaps, those snaps have to go somewhere. I think I would still lean on Sorrell just because maybe they're not sure about Kingsley's knee or this and that, and maybe they're looking to potentially move on at the end of the year. You're not going to want to get him a bunch of reps if you're not trying to, unless you're trying to use him as trade bait or something. But I don't think that that's where Kingsley's at right now.
Got it.
I would agree with that for sure. I mean, your gut tells you go with your veteran guy, right? Or your established guy. But Baron Sorrell is, I I think he's going to prove to be a special talent.
You know,
remember draft day, we were fired up, man, to see him become a Packer and just the journey that he's been on. You know, I agree with Emilio. I think you let the kid play, right? Let the kids play.
Absolutely. So the other thing that comes to mind for me, what if you broke out your 3-3-5 Cub look, right? What if you decided to go 3 big boys, 3 300-pounders?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be better than going to Enigbare or Baron Sorrell? You'd have to change the scheme up a little bit. You imagine that would take a little ding, take a little hit, right, in production. I'm just trying to just spitballing, just kind of talking about it on the fly here. What would that look like if you went to 3-3-5? You know,
I see more Nas Stackhouse opportunities, right? I mean, you're going to need the big bodies up there.
Yeah, but where does Micah go, to linebacker?
That's right. The thing. I imagine what you would do with the 3-3-5 look if you go to like an over or an under front. Those guys are going to be on the line. Like, could you go to a jam front with the 3-3-5? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what would that look like in your base package? When you go to the nickel 4-2-5, obviously it's going to stay the same there. I'm just thinking if you go to the 3-3-5 Cub in a nickel set there too, you could use that nickel look as your base defense if you wanted to. I'm just trying to think of what this could look like because I think we're going to miss LVN. I really do, man. I think for the fans that like to rake him over the coals and pretend like he's underperformed, I think it's going to be he was a force yesterday, man. When he was in there, you could tell. I mean, you feel him at 3-tech when you go to that cheetah package.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to see how it all falls. But all right, Tim, tell them about our charity we're raising awareness for here, man. This is an awesome cause. Proud to be a part of. Tell them about it, man.
Oh, Operation Horses Heal. Yeah. Equine therapy for veterans, active duty, and their family members. You can donate to support the cause and get an entry to win an autographed Romeo Dobbs jersey. That's all month long, the whole month of October. Make sure you go there. I'm going to get this QR code up here as soon as my computer stops acting up. There we go. You can scan that QR code in the upper right as well. It'll take you right there. But make sure you check out operationhorsesheal.org / how can I help to make the donation. But definitely do some research and see this awesome program that they do for our veterans. We're trying to raise money to get them a truck and a trailer because, you know, it's great to bring veterans out to the property in Westboro, Wisconsin to do this equine therapy, but it's another thing to actually be able to bring these horses directly to veterans and their families in need to help them get some of this self-guided therapy. And it really is an awesome thing. We've got members that have testimonials up there, and it is changing lives one person at a time with these horses. So operationhorsesheal.org / how can I help to donate. And each donation, no matter how big or small, is going to get you an entry to win that autographed Romy Rome jersey.
There you go. So autographed away white Romeo Dobbs jersey. Again, we're just going to do it like we do the normal giveaways. Anyone who donates, your name will go into that onto the wheel. We'll spin that on one of our live shows and give that away. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's DM'd over on X. 2-0 for this says this show may suck, but the charity doesn't. Very well said, sir.
Well said. 2-0 for this.
I've had several people reach out in DMs on Twitter just thanking us for putting this together. This was all Tim and his wife putting it together, and it's the least we can do as a show, as a podcast, as a whatever YouTube channel to give back to those veterans who have given so much for us. So there you go, Emilio. You got anything else, man? As we wrap up here, bro.
Can't follow that up, man. Thanks to Tim and Kate, man. They're crushing it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. I'm going to try to get Chalk Talk together. If I don't get it together in time, what we'll do is hit the updated rankings. We'll just kind of flip the Wednesday and the Tuesday show. Yep. We'll definitely do it by Wednesday. If I get home in time early enough tomorrow, I'll go ahead and chart everything, break down the plays, and get everything on. So forgive me if it's not ready by tomorrow. It'll definitely be ready by Wednesday. If you're new here, Chalk Talks, where we go through and break down the most important plays of the previous game, talk about what happened, why did it happen. We'll give you the entire play diagram and give our take on what happened there. So, plenty of content, boys. Yep. The race is on. The plan is next week, the work schedule starts to shrink a little bit, right? So, Tim, if everything goes as planned, next Monday, be able to do a morning show. We'll start
Cool.
easing that back in. Anybody who wants to get involved there. So
GML coming your way.
Hopefully it's a victory Monday. Regardless, we'll still get in here and wake up on Monday with a cup of coffee and talk balls.
What Al Davis say, Clay? Just win, baby.
Just win, baby. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's ugly or not, man. You know what I mean? If you need to do a little tooting to get it done,
I'll do a little tooting.
Tops out front. Like, did he just toot? I think he toot. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody. Y'all have a great night. Hit that like, hit subscribe, and click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Thanks to all the new subscribers, all the OGs in the chat. Y'all are what makes this show go. Everybody have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Here we go.
We're out.
Bye, guys.